So we are live building up to the India versus West Indies third ODI. Port of Spain, India are already up 2-0. Third ODI is a dead rubber. But the topic is no team composition, no talk about the players. Today the talk is on the format itself, ODIs. Very much under the scanner now, there have been a clear 50-50 divide, Rahul. 50% say it is relevant. South Africa in particular, Quinton de Kock had a statement that ODIs are very important. Well, South Africa will say it because they haven't won the ODI World Cup yet.
No, and also Quinton de Kock now plays just two formats.
Yes. If no tests anymore, he retired from tests after the Centurion debacle against India.
If ODIs are also done away with, then what will he play?
What will he play? Just one format. So now Ravi Shastri had an interesting comment, and that is the comment that we are discussing today in this topic. From 50 to 40, should the number of overs in ODIs be reduced so that the format sustains itself? In the age of playing too much cricket, tests, T20, franchisee cricket all over the globe, ODIs are actually now in threat. Is this suggestion by Ravi Shastri that 50 to 40, let us reduce it? How valid is this suggestion, and do you think it will be taken very seriously?
See, this is coming from Ravi Shastri. You would remember in the past, even Sachin Tendulkar had suggested that cricket needs to evolve, the ICC needs to make a few changes just to get that interest back as far as the viewers audience are concerned, because there is a period from say about 15 odd overs, about 30 odd overs or 25-30 overs, people don't it seems that the matches, the ODIs are dragging a bit.
Yes.
And you would remember Sachin Tendulkar had suggested that 50 overs is fine, but what you can do is you can divide these 50 overs into two innings. So for example, you are team A, I am team B, so you play first 25 overs, then I get to bat the next 25 overs, then again you get to bat 25 overs, then again I get to bat 25 overs, that ways. And of course the break time between the two innings can be reduced to say about 15-20 minutes. So that is what Sachin Tendulkar had said. Wasim Akram recently he said that ODIs are now meaningless, you don't need ODIs anymore, and Ravi Shastri now is saying that just cut down the number of overs from 50 to 40 so that they don't seem to be dragging.
Yes.
ICC will have to take a final call. What do you have, that committee?
The working committee.
The cricket committee. The cricket committee will need to take a call, but somebody will have to make a proposal in front of the ICC for that to happen. Is somebody willing to make that proposal? I don't know, because these are suggestions. And also see, you have somehow managed to get audiences for test cricket now. You have got a World Test Championship now, so there is some relevance to that.
Yes.
Every test match, after every series, you also do a video who is where as far as the World Test Championship cycle is concerned.
Yes.
So maybe they've added a bit of relevance to test cricket. Every test match is now has something in it. So maybe ODIs also, they also need something more.
Yeah, immediately Shobhan Sai has got his opinion on ODI cricket. I like ODI cricket. It is a format where I have celebrated the legends like Sachin, Sehwag, Virat, Kohli, and even Dhoni was celebrated even today for that 6 in that 2011 World Cup final. But see, ODIs are perhaps the only format in cricket that has undergone decade by decade, era by era changes. When it started out in the 75 World Cup, it started prior to that, 71 onwards, was 60 overs. Then it was reduced to 55. Then in the 1987 World Cup onwards, it was 50 overs. Now, the experiments that you're talking about, it was tried even in the Australian domestic structure. The structure was 45 overs, split into 2 innings of 25 and 20. So that experiment also, why is this coming up? Because of the onslaught of T20 cricket. And as you say, just a classic example of dragging. West Indies versus India's second ODI. No disrespect to both the teams, they played brilliant cricket. But what time did the match end? It ended a good 9 to 10 hours after it had begun.
Exactly.
And the problem was the rain. Now the playing conditions unfortunately state after 1.5 to 2 hours, only then overs will start reducing in an ODI. That is a real problem that it should be facing the ODI format. Cheteshwar Pujara is saying ICC should bring 2015 rule of a power play between 35 to 40. But how is that helping the situation when it comes to an ODI? I really have no idea. Chandresh is...
I completely agree with what Chandresh is saying.
Yes.
Over rates need to get better, then everything will fall into place. It is just that top players are not playing currently. Well, I completely agree. In fact, ICC has made a few changes as far as over rates are concerned, and those changes will be implemented from September onwards. Where you have stricter penalties for over rates if for a slow over rate. So and also when you say, I think this was the proposal by Tendulkar, because he said that a lot of times toss makes a lot of difference.
Yep.
If you are playing in the subcontinent, especially in winters, dew plays a very important role. So the moment you have these teams batting one after the other in 4 innings, an ODI game spread into 4 innings.
4 innings.
So that actually negates the advantage of toss to a great extent.
Yep.
But I think, for me, maybe, we have now gotten used to watching T20 cricket so much that at times we think that ODIs are not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
And also because in the past couple of years, we've played, not just India, but a lot of majority of the nations, they've played far too many T20 cricket matches or series. That is one of the reason I think that people, for them, it is a little difficult to now keep themselves glued to television or these matches. I think that is the reason. 50 overs, because you can't just go on for 9 hours, 8 hours. An ODI, a T20 match has to get over in 3 hours.
Yes.
Similarly,
100 minutes per
exactly.
innings.
So and
Chandresh's next point, I absolutely agree. I really don't understand why they did away with that rule, because it was a major deterrent. Time to penalize teams with runs and overs in the same game like during the 1999 World Cup. Remember, India versus Zimbabwe, India lost 4 overs and that's why they lost by 3 runs. The over rate deduction is a major deterrent, I would like to argue. So next, has it been...
Saransh, can we stop
somewhere? Just stop somewhere. Yeah. So
somewhere, not any.
Yeah, time to penalize teams that we have already said. But is it also ODIs have not been helped, Rahul, by the fact that you have had 2 consecutive T20 World Cup events?
No, that's why I'm saying now we've gotten so used to T20 cricket that and also Test cricket has also evolved. If you see England the other day against India, they chased down a target of 378. Pakistan versus Sri Lanka in subcontinent,
340.
They also chased down a target in excess of 300, 340. They chased down that target. So and also you need bigger stars with this franchisee model. A lot of players now they are ready to give up one of the formats.
Yes.
Ben Stokes, we saw. Ben Stokes has taken that call. I'm not going to play ODI cricket anymore. I understand. He could have given up T20 also. But I think more than ODIs, I won't say that ODIs are useless. For me, I think bilateral series are useless.
Yes.
To a great extent. Not every bilateral series, but majority of these bilateral series I think are useless. And I know you have added that concept of Super League,
Yeah.
but still I don't think that's helping.
The ODI
matters.
Super League has actually been given a stern challenge because South Africa declined to play 3 ODIs against Australia, which will impact their direct qualification for the World Cup. Imagine, that is the status. Why is this debate coming up? This happened much before the Shastri thing, 50 or 40. What I say was that when South Africa declined to play 3 ODIs against Australia because it was clashing with their T20 league, I'm sorry, this was the real challenge. And that is why it prompted us to think, oh, are ODIs now indeed so irrelevant at this point in time? Because this is not the minnows saying, oh, we won't play. It is South Africa and Australia, 2 of the biggest teams currently in the world. But that is the thing. The problem was that, this is the comment, right?
No, but Chandresh is saying that because India lost the 2017 final, they scrapped the Champions Trophy. But you know, never underestimate Champions Trophy.
Yes. It's coming back in 2025 in Pakistan.
It always has a reincarnation in some form or the other. Once again, Champions Trophy is going to restart from 2025. We'll have to see if, as per the schedule, the ICC schedule, it is going to be played in Pakistan. But we'll have to see if it is going to happen or not. I think Chandresh also pointed out that not a lot of Indian stars are also playing ODI cricket consistently, because there's so much T20 cricket happening, and workload management, and because you also realize that majority of these ODI series or the bilateral series that we are playing, they're not relevant enough to a great extent. So I think you have to make ODI cricket relevant. How you make it? See, Test cricket was also under threat, because at that time it was Test cricket and ODI cricket.
Yes.
Suddenly we saw the emergence of T20 cricket, and people saw it as a great opportunity because it serves the purpose for the broadcaster.
Yep.
It serves the purpose for the players. It serves the purpose of the audience and viewers also.
Correct.
It was 3 hours and everything is over in a matter. And because I remember I read an article a few years ago that was by Mr. Uday Shankar. Okay. He said that T20 cricket is where the money is.
Yes.
For us as broadcasters, T20 cricket is better than ODIs. And even Test cricket, because see, in Test also was in danger at one stage, but you've had some good games, you've had some relevance, and also for Test cricket and for ICC, India making it to the
World Test
Championship final was a great start, because you need a protagonist for every story, for every life story, for every fictional or non-fictional story. You need a protagonist, and what better protagonist than an Indian team when it comes to cricket, because where the market is. Market is India. The moment India made it to the final, suddenly there was relevance associated with the World Test Championship.
Yes.
Now again, ODI cricket, and I don't know what will happen next year in the ODI World Cup. If India wins that World Cup, nobody is going to ask any question as to whether ODI cricket should stay or should be killed or murdered.
Yes, it's again Sagar Singhal. Okay, it's a question for you, Rahul. There is one way to get ODIs back: that organized try or quad series. 2 or 3 top teams with one team ranked below. Like in India, England, South Africa would have played ODI try series in England if they were together. But again, Sagar, let's exclude India. This experiment works if there is an Indian team, because wherever India goes, there is crowd. Anywhere in the world. Even in Port of Spain, there is a fair degree of a crowd that assembles because they want to see the Indian players play. But take India out of the equation. What will happen? When neutral games are involved. England, South Africa, say Sri Lanka, or England, South Africa, West Indies. Will there be enough of a crowd to watch a West Indies Sri Lanka game?
So it depends where you're organizing. Even today, if you organize these matches maybe in the UAE or in Middle East, because earlier that is what used to happen. Sharjah was a neutral country was a neutral place for everybody.
Everybody, yes.
But India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe,
West Indies, Sri Lanka,
all New Zealand, all these teams would play in tri-series or a quadrangular series, and you had crowd. So I Sagar, to a great extent, I also agree with you. Rather than playing these meaningless bilateral series, I don't know what their purpose is. Of course, you have to earn, you have to make revenue also.
Yep.
And that is the reason why you play these ODI matches, ODI series, because for the country's board, T20 cricket also is better today.
Yes.
Because you can make that much money, or maybe just a little less money than in ODIs, but still I think for them also T20 cricket serves the purpose. And world and test cricket, England, if you go to England, if you go to Australia, you will still see quality crowd. I'm not talking about those who are very abusive, the crowd that I'm talking about, or very abusive, or would get the game into some sort of disrespect, or the crowd into some sort of disrespect. But you still have people going to watch this watch these test cricket matches. So I think we need to understand, and maybe India, Australia, England, South Africa, I to an extent I agree with Sagar.
Yes.
Rather than playing these meaningless bilateral series, maybe at least you need to make an effort. Then let's decide whether you need ODI cricket or not, whether you need to make changes in ODI cricket or not. Because what Sachin Tendulkar had proposed was something that would completely change the rules of the game.
Yes.
So that's a complete overhaul of the ODI cricket.
Yes.
So do you want to take that sort of a step? Because then you are changing the game at all. So it is as good as you are starting from scratch. So either you maybe reduction of 10 overs, if that is what Ravi Shastri feels, but I think you still have scope. And as I said, ODI cricket, maybe the next year's World Cup may decide.
Yes.
The future of.
I liked the Sharjah and Australia experience. Remember, we had the tri-series.
Yes.
We had the Sharjah tri or quadrangular series that used to happen. So that is the thing by which, World Test Championship is also benefiting because there is a structure in place. Every series that you play, 6 series in total, 3 home, 3 away. You can plan accordingly for that. So the points carried forward plus the penalties imposed for slow over rates has made it a bit more spicier affair, if you may say, test cricket. And boosted by the fact that India reached the first edition's final. But where is that structure for ODIs? They have replicated in the Super League, but that is not helping. England, South Africa, 2 top teams, that series is not part of the World League cycle. Where is the priority in that? Rather, as you say, the proposal that I would suggest is, if you do not want to reduce it to 50, play about 2 or 3 major tri-series events between nations. In 3, when you say one top team in a neutral venue, 3 different tri-series, and then see where you go. That is the way forward.
You will have to get crowds back to the stadium for ODIs. I know it may be a difficult task. As Jairaj Rana is saying, T20 World Cup gap should be increased minimum 3 years. So ODI cricket, we should see more than nobody, so that nobody raise questions on ODIs. Now ODI, see, as far as World Cup is concerned, ODIs are the original format for World Cup. For the longest period, you just had one World Cup, and that was played
after every 4 years.
4 years. And because you have to realize, Indian board is making good money.
Yes.
Australia also will and has been making decent money. So is England and all these countries. But what about ICC? You have to see, Jairaj, you might be right. The relevance of World Cup, people may not. Everybody knows right now. Everybody knows 75 West Indies, 79 West Indies, 83 India, 87 Australia, 92 Pakistan, 96 Sri Lanka, 99 Australia, then again Australia, and then 11 India, 15 Australia, and then 19 England. Everybody can say. My guess is that not a lot of people may remember who won each and every T20 World Cup. But we have to see, because ICC also wants to make money. That is why this reincarnation of Champions Trophy. ICC also has to sell ICC events.
Yes.
ICC Champions Trophy, ICC T20 World Cup, ICC ODI World Cup, ICC World Test. That is how ICC is going to make money. So otherwise, I agree with you. The relevance of a World Cup. So the other day, in fact, you would remember we were having a discussion on the competition, the level of competition in a World Championship and at Olympics.
Yes.
And a lot, if you speak to a lot of people, they'll say the level of competition in World Championship is more than the Olympics. But still, Olympics, they are considered as the pinnacle of any sports event. Why? Because it comes once in 4 years.
Yes.
World Championships, you have every second year.
Yeah.
So that is the reason. So maybe I think you can actually have more relevance for these ICC events if the frequency is evenly spaced out. For every 2 years you have a T20 World Cup, every 4 years you have a World Cup, every 3 years World Test Championship, or 2 years you'll have a World Test Championship. Now you've pushed a Champions Trophy also in between. So ICC also has to take care of its own benefits, but at the same time you can't remove or maybe
ICC are
basic fabric of
ICC are in a catch-22 situation, because as you said, they have to promote even their ICC tournaments. They also need to make revenue. The basic problem that I see is, look at how cramped the schedule is. Immediately after 2023, every year we have an ICC event. So probably, if you have to look at from the purist point of view, the novelty factor is gone. There was anticipation, right? Up until 2011 or even 2007. 4 years, World Cup. There was an anticipation. Exactly. Now, 2020, immediately after 2023, 2024, you have the World T20. 2025, you have the Champions Trophy. 2026, you have again the World T20. 2027 is the ODI World Cup. And it's continuing on those lines. Every 2 years, there is a World T20. The Champions Trophy, we don't know whether the ODI format will be relevant in 2025 because of the fact that you are going to play ODIs directly now after November. After the end of the World T20, it's only going to be ODIs. Now, Sagar Singhal is taking off from our point, and he's saying you give every nation to organize 2 tri-series in a year. Boards will not have issues and the players will get rested automatically. Because instead of playing 4 series, you will play a tri-series in 20 days. It does 2 things here. Number 1, eases of player fatigue to a certain extent, because you don't have to travel to other ends of the globe. Because what is the turnaround time that you have had from England to West Indies? Just 5 days. But there are so many members in the Indian cricket team that you can basically field 2 or 3 separate teams.
Which is going to happen now.
Which will happen. It's already happening. It started from Sri Lanka.
No, but
it's happening now.
No, but the question that you are saying that there will not be too much of workload on these players. But Sagar, again the same point. I understand that players' workload has to be managed, but the boards, they want more series, they want more matches to be played, because the more you play, the more sponsors you will get, the value of the broadcast rights will be higher. So the more these players play, it is beneficial for a lot of people. Even players may also want to play, especially the French players may want to play. I can understand a top level cricketer may not, because he is centrally contracted, because you get paid on the basis of matches that you play. In that contract is one thing, but you have a match fee also. And I was Divyansh, if I got your name correct, he's saying, answer him, he's saying 3-month window for IPL. Isn't it detrimental for world cricket?
I mean, you are having separate slots. There's a dedicated window now for IPL, Big Bash League even, not just IPL, all the T20 leagues. So already the ICC has prioritized what are your major events going to be, and the future is T20. Now ODIs, the problem is bilateral series, some of which due to broadcast commitments, due to board commitments, you have to play them. Will all the boards agree that okay, let us not play too many ODIs? Will the ICC agree? I have no idea, and I think it is not happening. We are back to that status quo wherein ICC is trying to slot everything. They are trying to stuff the entire calendar with some things. 2 months, 3 months of this thing, IPL, December to January, there's a dedicated window for the Big Bash League. So that means all your test matches, all your ODIs will have to finish by January 1st week max in Australia. After that, it's just the Big Bash League. So it's like a big change, and it is going to be detrimental. That's why I said no, 2025 Champions Trophy, is it going to be played according to the ODI format or T20 format? I just have no idea. Simply because ICC is in a catch-22 situation. No, I don't want to let go of this, but I still want this. Oh, but I cannot jeopardize board commitments or revenue commitments, but I also want this. Somewhere you have to reject something. But if we know the ICC, they just tiptoe on this and they don't take any kind of action.
Saransh, can we stop somewhere?
Yep. Okay, Abhishek Sharma is saying, scrap T20Is. Keep T20 leagues. Have ODI tri-series more often. Bring bowler-friendly rules. ODIs with ebbs and flows are far more interesting than one-dimensional T20Is. Abhishek Sharma, yet again, I think he's living in a very idealistic world. But there is a T20 leagues. There is a dedicated window for it.
And I think in times to come, maybe this is going to happen. You will have T20 leagues throughout the world, and a lot of players would be plying their trade here and there. And then you will have World Cups. What is happening in football, for example,
yes.
You play a few friendlies here and there, but majority of these players throughout the year, they are busy playing these
the 5 top leagues in Europe.
Yes. So possibly, because, and trust me, I think because Indian board is very strong.
Yes.
That is the reason something of this sort has not happened so far. Because otherwise you never know, because every country wants to promote their own franchisee league, whether it is Australia, England, India, South Africa, Pakistan, everybody. Maybe in times to come you may just have these franchisee leagues, players are playing there.
Yep.
And then you will have these these World Cups and test matches.
Now I don't think, perhaps, maybe if we are just trying to dig it deeper, I'll just say this. Perhaps looking at the ICC way of working, you need bilateral series. Okay? You will need all the other things that is associated with ODIs. So rather than reducing the number of overs, let's just say, to make it more attractive, is white ball cricket primarily suffering from a lack of structure? We have seen the World Super League is not working. Some series which should have been in the points system is not there in the point system. Is that a point to ponder when the 2024 to 2031 FTP is there? Should there be clarity on what structure should be in place? The World Test Championship structure is working. Every series assumes importance for all the other teams. Now if Sri Lanka, suppose for example, wins the Galle test on the second test, it changes the dynamic yet again. India again probably slip to 5th. Pakistan stay in 3rd, but their chances are jeopardized. So that kind of structure, if it comes in the ODI league, why not? And kind of, should we ensure that the host nation does not get automatic qualification? Like I know that it happens in football, the host nation automatically qualifies. But in cricket, why don't you go about saying, nah, even the host nation does not qualify? But problem with that is if India don't qualify, God forbid, then nobody will come to watch the ODIs that will be played.
I think if you, what I have seen is, if you serve quality food, if you serve quality cricket,
Yes.
I think people will watch.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the reasons why we enjoy watching cricket in Australia and England.
Yes.
You know, people also come there to watch cricket, and here also, irrespective of the time zones, we also like to watch cricket. And you know, in India also, when you know, a foreign team is coming here to play cricket, we've seen matches getting over in 2.5 days, 3 days, and then you always have, and the moment you question that these are you know, these are dead wickets, as in dust bowls, where matches are not even last, they don't even last for 4 days, 5 days. So in their defense, they would say, you go to England, matches get over in 3 days. But I think there has to be a balance. As of now, cricket, especially white ball cricket, has tilted you know, towards the batsman so much that there is actually not too much of competition. So you have to have a fair balance in everything. You know, rules are so favorable to batsmen that at times, so there has to be an even contest. And how do you make that happen? As I said, you know, ODI cricket, for example, you're saying ODI cricket, if you play ODIs in India or in the subcontinent in winters,
Yes.
due. Imagine one team has played the entire innings under the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, flat, you know, slow wicket, and the moment dew comes in, the second team, when it is batting or chasing,
Yes.
for them it becomes so easy. So the ICC has to find a way, and for me, I think the better way is to get back to that format of tri-series, quadrangular series, and you know, even small nations, for example, Bangladesh can organize a 3-nation tournament.
Yes.
Sri Lanka can organize a 3-nation or a 4-nation tournament. I'm not just talking about the bigger countries, as in bigger in the sense, in terms of cricket, Australia, India. That way they also can make a bit of revenue, good revenue, everybody. And imagine 3 teams coming to play one nation. I think it adds relevance. You know, you with the moment, see, if both of us are playing, you have one match, I have one match. Okay, now we know, or we are playing a 5-match series. You won 2, I have won 1. But the moment you add points to anything, you add points to anything, the relevance of that fixture, of that tournament, irrespective of sport, irrespective of whichever sport it is, the moment you add points to anything, it assumes relevance.
Correct. So, okay, I saw Sagar Singhal saying England play around 7 tests, 7 to 8 T20Is, same for ODIs, and they organize 2 tri-series in the English summer. ECB will get more matches in small span and more competition, and same for other nations as well. That's what Rahul is also suggesting. Play that tri-series on a far more consistent basis and ensure that it is in a venue where there is equal balance with both bat and ball. Nowadays, if 350 is there, if they chase it down, it's one dimensional. They are chasing it down for fun. Bowlers are not having any kind of enjoyment. So that is the thing. Can you just go up a bit, Saransh?
And as far as what Ravi Shastri has said, you would remember that in England they used to have Pro 40 earlier.
Yes,
they used to play Pro 40, but now they've also.
See, Austin Kuna, when will the FTV for 2023-27 be released by ICC? India play 18 ODIs versus New Zealand, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all after T20 World Cup. Till next IPL, and will play only 3 T20Is right after the T20 World Cup in New Zealand. Okay, Austin, there will be a separate explainer on what is that schedule because it's pretty complicated. I have already done a video on the World Test Championship as to who's playing where according to the nations. So you have to we will be doing that video shortly, so stay tuned for that. Manish Bish, this is the same suggestion that was given by Sachin Tendulkar, and even Rahul mentioned that at how reshaping ODIs by having 2 matches, 25 overs each same day and deciding based on statistics. Tendulkar has suggested that you play 2 innings of 25-25 and it's like a 1-day test match. Rahul also said it at the beginning of the show.
No, I didn't suggest. I said Sachin Tendulkar.
He said that same thing also. So it is going to be a very. I think you need structure rather than reducing the number of overs. But there is precedent of reducing the number of overs from 60 to 55 to 50. It's been there from 1987 onwards. So let's see how it happens. Kanish Joria Syed Mushtaq Ali winner, Tamil Nadu, Vijay Sare, Himachal Pradesh, Ranji winners, MP, still Bengal selected to represent India in Global T20 Namibia League. I would rather not get into those details, Kanish, because it's a decision that's been taken. I think we'll respect that decision. Let's see what.
Why is Washington Sundar being ignored? Washington Sundar is not being ignored. He has to because he's coming. He came back after a long injury layoff or COVID because a lot of things have happened. Now he's making a comeback because you already have players who've proven themselves and they've been. So suddenly you can't just have him back immediately when there is stiff competition. Obviously, you have a Jadeja there, then a spin all-rounder, and then you'll have to see.
Do you agree with this comment? Ritvik Boja saying, hi Rahul, if you reduce the overs, then quality less players gets quick runs and it will reduce quality of cricket. Firstly, that definition of quality is very subjective, Ritvik. I mean, you can't, one man's poison is necessarily not the other one's poison. Quality.
No, one man's poison will be poison to everyone.
Yeah.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Gaurav Kalra, is there a possibility of India versus Pakistan final WT? It will be a test after 2007 between Indo-Pak. No, Gaurav, I think it is very, very, very difficult because Australia will then have to really choke along with South Africa for that to happen.
What is this Hustlers University? Huh? Chill out 777.
No idea. So
I hope it's not that Adam Sandler series, no? No,
is it? I have no idea.
No, movie. Anyways.
Yeah. So shall we call it a day?
Yeah.
So the consensus is it's a decent suggestion that number of overs can be reduced because there is precedent. It's happened 60, 55, 50 as I said. But if you have a better structure in place, the right kind of tournaments, for example, the Sharjah one is a very good example. You played in a neutral venue. Why not have a repetition of that, bring that back and add more structure to it? That is our consensus that
ODI cricket is a very tricky format. It actually needs lot of quality.
Yes.
From any player to play that format because you have to build an innings. Why do we say that this player has the talent to play ODI cricket? Because you have to utilize the conditions, you have to utilize the restrictions, the field restrictions, because you have everything in that. You can see in ODIs, you can see a T20 format also, you can see a test format also.
Yes.
So ODI cricket is a very, when I say tricky, it's a very difficult format for any player. You can have a bowler can actually have a great start in the power play, and then in the death it can be completely
slam bang T20 action.
And for a batsman who's coming out to open, imagine he's quick off the blocks then he has to build an innings.
Yes.
Then you have spinners, the wicket gets slower as the time progresses, ball also gets softer.
Yep.
It's an art. you have to play quality cricket to survive in ODI cricket
ODIs,
also.
yes.
And similarly for the middle order batsmen, so ODI, I don't think that you can actually, or you should rather do away with the ODI cricket.
Yes.
You have to find ways to make test cricket relevant and also find ways to help ODI cricket survive.
Dipanjan Ghosh is exactly arguing. Reducing the number of overs will be the worst decision ever to put ODI cricket on the path of extinction. That's quite a telling
and
statement.
it will also be an admission. It will also be an admission. Whatever is being said everywhere that ODI cricket is losing its relevance. It is not the format, I think. It's not the format. I think it's the series, the way it is being played. Maybe that is, and the people who are playing, actually, the players who are playing. I think that is the reason why, I think that is the reason why questions are being raised for ODI cricket. And if you are saying that reduction of overs from 50 to 40 will be an admission that ODI cricket is on that path of extinction. It will be an admission.
So Varun Parvatanini is also saying, do cricketers have enough fitness? He brings in the fitness angle now to last 50 overs these days with so much cricket going on, especially bowlers. Is that another reason for revamping ODI?
See, you never know.
That's actually a point to ponder, Varun.
And in fact, Irfan Pathan, I think he recently mentioned that it's the only format where you play 100 overs in a day.
Yes.
Not even test cricket you get to play 100 overs in a day. So it actually, tests you.
Really?
ODI cricket actually tests you.
Yes. So with that, it's still a 50-50 thing, but if we have been,
Ratnesh Gaur, I completely agree with you. In fact, this is what I also, next year, every ODI will be relevant.
Very relevant. From November onwards, he'll only play mostly ODIs because the 2023 World Cup will be in India and it will be played from October onwards. So, yes, after the T20 carnival ends, it's time for the ODI slugfest. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this special explainer. Do join us for the third ODI tomorrow, India versus West Indies, Port of Spain. But on the sidelines, the Commonwealth Games is just a couple of days away. So let's see.
Neeraj Chopra, you've already done video early in the
we did the live. Already there is
breaking news that Neeraj
will he still
Chopra
be the flag bearer?
No, obviously not.
He will not.
I think he was supposed to reach Birmingham today or earlier yesterday. I think because I spoke to a few people and this is what I was told that he was supposed to. So obviously he is not going to be the flag bearer because an active athlete who is participating, only a participant can be the flag bearer. So you have a couple of names. You have Bajrang Punia, you have PV Sindhu, you have
in fact, PV Sindhu was the flag bearer in 2018.
Chanu, yes, and you have Mirabai Chanu and Lavlina, Ravi Dhaya would be there. You have a lot of medalists.
Let's see how many India wins in the Commonwealth Games, because in 2018 we had 166 medals at Gold Coast. Birmingham with the addition of cricket, the women's T20 format. Let's see how it happens.
And then also Paddy Upton, you may remember, maybe familiar with that name. Paddy Upton, who was part of the Indian team during Gary Kirsten's era, when Gary Kirsten was the Indian coach and India won the 2011 World Cup also. He was the mental conditioning coach for India. He has once again joined the Indian team. He is joined the Indian team in West Indies and will be there till the World Cup.
That is probably what the doctor ordered, as Ravi Shastri would say.
Rahul Dravid has had
Rajasthan Royals
long association with Paddy Upton. Maybe he thought that it would be better to get him on board and should be helpful for the Indian players and the team.
Yes, absolutely. So there's plenty of sporting action coming up, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to Sports Today. We are also there on Facebook.